Hello everybody, my name is Solus, otherwise known as Solus Convoy, which is my YouTube username. This is my review of the Newage 25B and 26B Herbie the Nest and Vanishing Point. These are their shattered glass repaints of their Bumblebee and Cliffjumper 2.0 molds. They were released a while ago, a long time ago actually. This review is pretty ancient. I'm only doing it because I filmed a transformation video for the Nest Herbie last week, and I figured I might as well make a full-fledged review to go along with it. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these figures. So starting off, let's say that we take a look at the box. So I'm going to take these and just put them to the side for now. And the box is, well, I mean, it is a box, you know, it's a box. The package art is a Resident Evil reference, so it is pretty cool. I mean, if you're into that franchise, I assume this hits harder for you. I'm not exactly, maybe wrong generation or just wrong genre of games, but it does look really nice. As usual, the Newage package art usually does look really nice, whether they go for the faux toy boxes or just original art. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, the other sides are just product shots, right? Showcasing Cliffjumper as a zombie. And then a shot on the back, which is Bumblebee running away from or shooting at zombie Cliffjumper. So you may ask, why is Cliffjumper a zombie, right? And the reasoning for that is because in the Fun Pub Shattered Glass comics, we don't actually ever get to meet Shattered Glass Cliffjumper. We get to meet the Positive Universe Cliffjumper, who's, the regular Cliffjumper everybody knows, in his usual red color scheme, who's a good guy. And the evil Autobots of the Shattered Glass universe find him when he's magically teleported there, and they think he's a good guy, or they think he's just like them, right? They think he's a sadistic tyrant, just like all of Optimus Prime's deranged followers, but it turns out the Cliffjumper is not, because he's from the main timeline that we know. The real Shattered Glass Cliffjumper was actually killed before the story started, but we do end up seeing his corpse in a later comic, or actually a text story with illustrations, which is where this deco comes from. And we never actually see Bumblebee in Shattered Glass because he's always just Goldbug. So I think Newage just made this deco up on the fly to go along with Cliffjumper, who shows up in one illustration as a zombie. I mean, it's a deep pull. It's definitely a deep pull, but it looks really good. I really like how Cliffjumper looks. I really love the metallic blue combined with the green. And Bumblebee, as always, I mean, black and red and gold. That honestly always works. So I can't really complain about that. In terms of why I bought this set, or why somebody would be into buying this set, I think if you want to get these molds in a unique color scheme, it's a pretty good one to pick up. Everyone's talking these molds like all the way to hell and back by now, so I don't really feel I can add much perspective on the engineering or the design. But in this specific set, I really do like how it both manages to be original but also faithful to the source material. I like how Newage even illustrates how convenient the engineering joints are to simulate a zombie pose with Cliffjumper by shifting his arms down. So there's a lot of little touches in this set that make it fantastic, but for the most part it is a straight repaint, except for Cliffjumper having a, see if I can get it to focus. I don't know if I can get, there we go. I think Cliffjumper's head might be slightly retooled. I don't know if my camera can pick it up that well, but yeah, it's kind of hard to pick out his eyes, but they do show up in person. He's very small. You can see my fingerprints from here, but yeah, his head is slightly retooled, I think. So he has that going for him. But yeah, so, and as you can see here, despite these figures being very tiny, hand for scale, if I shove my hand in the camera, it'll take up the whole camera. So, size comparison, that's Hasbro's old Universe Legends class Megatron. And they're posed, so I'll take them out of the poses, but that's kind of my posability showcase, is these poses I have them in. Usually, I know a lot of reviewers will just do raw articulation count, and you've probably seen that already. So, I guess maybe it's not super necessary for me to do that, but I just wanted to show off how naturally dynamic and posable they are despite their size. On Cliffjumper, the combination of both the crunch that's here and the actual ab crunch here allow you to get a really nice range, and there's just a lot of range to work with here. It also really helps that the lightweight joints are so lightweight that even if I shake him really, really hard, considering his size, nothing comes out of place. It is fiddly, if you tap it, obviously it'll move because of how little resistance there is, because it's not a heavy object, right? It's a very lightweight object. But in terms of the actual friction and tolerances, I think it's pretty great. They surprise you. You think they're fiddly and loose, but they're actually really fun to handle and really fun to pose. Cliffjumper here especially. So let me take Cliffjumper out of this pose I have him in and just do an articulation rundown. So let me just remove the classic rocket launcher, which comes with every Cliffjumper toy ever. So I had to cheat a little bit. Let me get over the one negative aspect this mold's articulation has is probably the knees. As you can see, the knees are on a hinge, which allows him to get 90 exactly. I think that's exactly 90. But the issue is that this piece is actually supposed to be flipped in here. But if you try bending the knees with that piece, you only get about 45. So the solution is to just put it out of the way. It's not the biggest deal breaker, but considering the size, it is a bit apparent when it's displayed, but I guess the point is that if you have them in a convincing enough pose like I did before, I don't think you'd notice it. It's not the biggest issue, but in terms of raw articulation, you get a head, which allows you to look all the way up, which is really nice for that jetpack accessory these come with. And I cannot get this to focus. I really want to show off his head sculpt, but I just cannot get it to focus. But I really like his head sculpt. You also have these joints here before the shoulder ball joints, which go up. So you can actually engage a shoulder from here, right? And then they can also go down to give you that zombie look if you want to. They're mostly for transformation. Universal ball joint shoulders, bicep swivel. I figure this small, kind of crazy, a bit tight actually. And then he has elbow 90s, and then his wrist is on a ball joint, so it serves as the full swivel, and it can tilt in and out for transformation. And then he has an ab crunch here, which is for transformation, and then he has a dedicated ab crunch, which is also used for transformation here. So there's two crunches, which is crazy on a toy this size, but it's a convenient use of transformation joints. Universal ball joint hips, thigh swivel, and then boom, that same knees I talked about before. I'm just going to keep the panels out, but they drop to 45 degrees with the panels tucked back. And then his ankles are universal ball joints, so you actually get more tilt with the knee panel put back in. You get about, I think that's 20 degrees, maybe a bit more, 25, 30, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's good enough. I think it's good enough for figures of this size. And the one good thing about ball joint and ankle tilt is it gets you a lot of reverse, which is really nice for those. If you can get the center of mass balanced, that reverse tilt makes one-legged poses pretty easy. The one problem with this toy though is the feet are so big that you kind of have to mess around to get that center of mass down perfectly. But as you can see, he won legs like a champ. I didn't really have to fiddle with it that much to get it to go. Just make sure you have the other leg tucked in, because a lot of his mass is there. And that's the elephant in the room for this figure sculpt, I think. This is kind of a haphazard review. It's not very organized, but I'm doing it all in one take, so bear with me. So the elephant in the room for this figure sculpt is definitely the size of these clompers, right? His boots. They're big. They're pretty big. So I don't really think it's a flaw considering what 45 did at the masterpiece scale, which wasn't that bad, but that was to accommodate a driver gimmick, which really felt unnecessary, but that's not this figure's review, right? I feel relative to the scale, these are fine. They extend more than they go forward, and that's an issue, but they don't really compromise the silhouette too much. Thanks to the way the chest is sculpted going forward, he doesn't look too backpack heavy from behind, as you can see. I mean, they stand out, but this toy is small. I can give them slack here, especially considering how easy the transformation is. And with how good the back cleans up and like all the mass comes in from the back side of the car, I really can't fault this toy for the feet. I think if you have that as a flaw, then that's completely understandable. And wow, I finally got the head sculpt to focus, and I really love this head. I adore this head sculpt. It looks so good. I did the transformation on Bumblebee because I had Cliff Jumper in that very cool pose, but I love this head sculpt. Like, I could speak about it for so long. I love the recessed cheeks to give him that undead appearance. It's just like a skeleton. It's just so nice. And it's so fun they retooled such a small little thing that most people wouldn't notice. I really appreciate that. I think it's awesome. But yeah, sculpt-wise, I love this figure. I'm not exactly a tune fan or a tuner, as they call them, but I can always appreciate good toys, and this is that. I haven't actually talked about accessories, so you get the signature rocket launcher, which he can hold easily because it's very lightweight. The tab feels really narrow, as you can see. This is like literally approaching levels of fingernail thickness, but I haven't had any issues with it feeling like it's gonna break. So I am kind of worried about these parts, the stand parts, but they also feel really solid. So yeah, and it could stand on its own. Yay. He also has, well, the set also comes with Bumblebee's pistol, which is the main flaw with this thing. Is it is so tiny. Like, not losing this is crazy, but it fits really easily, and you don't feel like it's gonna break. So, but God, this is so small. And the rest of their accessories are in the box, which I don't really want to open, but I'm going to pretend to be a competent reviewer and show you everything. It comes with accessories, by the way, and they're packaged in alt mode. So yeah, I did a robot mode to alt mode review, or transformation, because most people do alt to robot for people, and I think alt to robot is always easier. That's just my opinion, but I figured I'd do the other way around. So here's one of the baggies it comes with that I reseal using its own stickiness. And inside here, there's 2 accessories for Bumblebee. I really wish Newage would do more of these sticky packs. Sometimes they don't have like the ones that you can unseal. But anyways, another discussion just about the company in general. I like resealable bags. Magic Square, shout out to you guys. I like that. So you get the hilariously small jetpack and an even smaller accessory, which is why I left it in the box. Jesus, how am I going to show this on camera, man? It's a black circle with a peg. It's a wheel cover for his back in his Beetle mode. You can like remove this panel here. Oh my god. Okay. And then you can place the spare wheel if you want to. I kind of like the panels more aesthetically, I don't know why. And you can also place the jetpack. Oops. Jetpack. So he can fly through the air. Yeah, okay. You can foosh him. He's very, I don't know if he's fooshable, but you could pretend he is. And wow, this review is getting very long. And yeah, that's it for Bumblebee's accessories. I already showed you Cliffjumper's rocket launcher. Now on to, oh my god, Cliffjumper's accessories, which are a bit more. This is just the sprue thing, which these were attached to. Cliffjumper comes with his iconic skis, right? Skis, because of that one time he was on water in the cartoon, and you can put them on his alt mode. I don't want to transform him, so I'm going to be very lazy and just, they go on like that. I'm sorry guys, I'm just too lazy to transform him right now, and this video is already getting hilariously long. But they just attach my magnet, which is ingenious, and I promise you they move around less in robot mode because the grooves of the wheel covers kind of hold them in place. And for storage, I just stick them all to each other because, again, I'm lazy, and put them in the bag, and they kind of form like an object of sorts, a thing. Wow, this video is hilariously long. Robot mode size comparison with the aforementioned Generations Legends class G2 Megatron from forever ago. And yeah, so my final thoughts that I spent way too much time to get towards because we are approaching a very long amount of time spent on almost nothing, and I'm not going to edit this because I'm that lazy. Great toys, great toys. I think these surprised me. The main reason I bought these actually was so I could have Newage figures that would fit inside my Newage Toxitron's trailer. Newage's David mold is great, but I think one really big flaw I have with his trailer is that it can only fit these molds. Like, it cannot fit their Prowl mold or their Jazz mold or most of their Carbots because the trailer is so narrow, which is meant to emulate how, you know, in the cartoon, the trailer didn't flare out past his robot mode or past his truck mode that much. And I think that was a goof up. I think the trailer should be playable, so I think the trailer should have been bigger, but that's a flaw in a different toy. And I'm not even showing that compatibility, so yeah. I should really show alt mode, but yeah. I'm not going to do that. The alt modes are hilariously cute. They're adorable. You can take my word on it. Actually, you know what? This is so haphazard by now that I am actually going to transform Cliffjumper as fast as possible off camera so we can see how long it takes, because I wanted to make a point to someone that even if it takes longer on camera, I want to see how long it takes me off camera. So I'm going to transform Cliffjumper, partially because I love transforming Cliffjumper. I can kind of do it on camera, but it won't be visible. I don't know, I just really like these. I like these a lot more than I thought I would. And I know I said final thoughts over a minute ago, and now we're not reaching any type of conclusion, but that's just how my first review is going to go. Like, I'm literally just putting this out to see if I can upload a video of this length. Yeah, so I don't want to make a bad first impression for my channel or whatever, considering this is mostly going to be my friends watching this. But God, I do wonder how long this will take to upload. I just will have more organized videos in the future. This was just a really spontaneous thing where I had an extremely rare moment of inspiration, I guess. So I decided to film a review for the first time. I hope that isn't super annoying for everyone involved. And I know some of you guys are probably like, when is he going to end? Because I've gone on for far too long at this point. But unfortunately, I'm probably going to do an alt mode showcase. I'm not going to do Bumblebee though. I'm going to spare you guys some time, because otherwise my reviews will end up being like hilariously long. I'm going to edit my other ones. I just don't want to edit this one. I kind of wanted to do like a very raw, like just playing with the toy type review. And I love obstructing my own camera so bad that you can't see anything. And this is taking a lot longer, probably because I'm talking throughout. But yeah, we're almost there, folks. To those of you who are actually watching, a shout out for this, because this is literally just, at this point, this isn't really a review. This is just playing and talking about a toy I like. So, Cliff Jumper in alt mode. Again, hilariously tiny. Now I can show you the crucial accessory that defines Cliff Jumper's character and that he must come with in every single iteration, because whatever would I do without Cliff Jumper skis? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I would pass away if a Cliff Jumper toy was released without skis. And, yeah. Skis. You know, that's... Oops, he's not really plugged in all the way. But yeah, he has skis. Yeah, so the alt mode, though, is fantastic. I love it. I didn't think I would like the Penny Racer. I didn't think I would like the divergence away from Newage's more realistic alt modes. Let me remove these skis. I really can't stand them. They're so funny. I love how quickly they just automatically magnetize back into the storage position I made for them. It's so great. 20 minutes. Jesus Christ. But I really, really like this. Like, I really like this alt mode. It is a perfect Penny Racer. Like, probably the best Penny Racer transforming toy I've ever seen. It is gorgeous in Cliff Jumper's metallic blue with the neon green paint for the windows. I absolutely love every single part of this toy. I love this toy. Seriously, like, this is my sleeper pick for one of Newage's best figures ever, despite, like, the very real criticism that, you know, Bumblebee's chest has too much breakage and it has fox chest windows or faux chest windows or whatever. I really love it, especially Cliff Jumper. I bought this set for Cliff Jumper, and I love Bumblebee, but that is a perfect chibi car brand that does not want to be associated with Transformers beyond a movie toy. It's great. Let me do a much faster transformation, which is going to be the size comparison guy. Wow, I will never criticize another reviewer again, by the way, because I can't even imagine, like, actually editing. But yeah, here's a size comparison with that Generations Legends class Megatron. Oops, I did not plug that in. There we go. Yeah, so he is tiny, very tiny. But yeah, my real final thoughts on this set, amazing. Sleeper pick for Newage's best, like I said before. Definitely brought something new to the Legends scene that I think went underappreciated, in that these are both fun to transform but comically tiny and surprisingly not that fiddly. Maybe I lucked out on tolerances, but they're also painted beautifully, and even on a figure this small, Bumblebee's eyes just pop. Like, I didn't even have to try to get this shot in focus, and you can see that Bumblebee's eyes are completely in focus. They're completely in view. They look great. It's just an all-around banger, in my opinion. I really don't have anything else I could say about this set, other than, like, you guys, Newage did a fantastic job on this set. None of the flaws are really flaws for me. Even the goofy move the knee panel out of the way to get the full knee bend, because I just can't be asked. They're too much fun to criticize. What I'd really love to see is more of Newage's mini-bots hitting these same highs. I think Brawn and Outback look really in comparison, and I don't know how I feel about some of the newer mini-bots. But yeah, I mean, just an all-around W here. I promise you guys that my next review will both be shorter, more concise, and more like a typical review with, like, actual editing, and it won't be like an introduction to my personality as a toy enjoyer, I guess. And it'll probably be on a toy that actually exists. I got these on Bombasby, which is treachery to my beloved show Z, but I think they still have them, actually. They're not very popular because it is a very niche and obscure comic pull, but the toy version, the toon version, is always in high demand and always getting reissued. So if you're into the more classical Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper look, if you like small toys, I'd pick these up. If you at any point in time enjoyed a World's Smallest Transformer or were a Minicon collector, I feel like you owe yourself to own a copy of these. And if you can find them for $50 for the pair, which is really what the price should be, that's how much I paid for mine, I'd say go for it. They're definitely worth $25 a pop. Considering core class figures are like $15, these are about half the size of the core with twice the parts count. I think they really command their price at $25 a pop. Being a double pack of the same mold, though, kind of stinks. And I understand that feels boring, but even the slight remolding differences really helps that cliff jumper apart, in my opinion. Especially his spoiler. I love his spoiler. It is so cute. So yeah, that's my first review. Thank you guys for watching. And I look forward to seeing you guys again on my channel. Thanks. This is Solus Convoy saying peace out.